trying to refresh the Triumvirate channel and try to see if it's live. It doesn't say that. Not yet anyway, so let me see. Refreshing X, see whether or not we see the live stream that we were doing.
I can see it on Matt's channel.
I see it on your channel. Yeah, it's happening.
Well, what about on the Triumvirate YouTube? Is it there? Is it there? Is it there?
I'm refreshing. Oh, it's there. We're good. We're good to go.
Technology worked.
All right. So.
Fantastic.
Oh, every time like it's the first time. All right, episode 19 is live now because I said so on my page.
Yeah, so tomorrow's the rate cuts.
Yeah, so tomorrow's the rate cuts. You can throw me up on the screen here. And I'll pull up how we opened with the SPX.
Yeah, you just throw them up there. There you go.
I threw up there.
Threw it up there. Hey, everybody, it's the Tesla Tracker and Cantonese Cat and the great Matsby.
Super great.
And we are here once again, the Triumvirate, and we're talking about tomorrow. I told people today in my channel, it's sort of the pregame. I raised a bunch of cash this morning because I want to be positioned in case we get a pullback. We opened with this gap. It did fill that gap down. Didn't even go. This is the 1 hour chart. Ichimoku, we're just underneath the conversion line and above the baseline in the SPX. And I was watching this VIX chart this morning. And in fact, what I did, this was our open. Actually, this was not our open of the day, but sorry, not the open of the regular trading session, but just the pre-market. Kind of open with a gap up. And then right about here, this is where the market opened. And the VIX just shot up in the morning and then rose back down. Fell back down. And then when it hit this bottom and closed that gap, I was able to do a 1-2 and project the rest of the move here if we get 5 impulsive waves up. So, and remember, as the VIX goes up, as volatility goes up, the tendency is for equities to sell off. So, not always, but that's the tendency in the general market. And so we got a 1-2 and then a minor degree 1-2 all set up here. And so will we see a sell-off tomorrow? Maybe. Or will we just get an A, B, C and it starts calming down? We'll find out tomorrow. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys want to talk about SPX and volatility? Do you want me to talk about Tesla?
Yeah, I mean, we already know pretty much things are going to be volatile tomorrow, right? So
yeah. I guess we'll talk about the two things. We'll recap what we talked about in the. It was my second day in the great Matsby in the mornings, and it was really fun. And Matt and I talked about the two possibilities, right, for the SPX. Either we opened with a gap up, but did not open with a new higher high. But then we did during the intraday get a wick up to make a slightly higher high by like 1 SPX point. we went from a high of 566.9 to 567 and some change, and then back down below this trend line that I got drawn here. And now we're down back here again underneath this triangle. So either things will get over the all-time high again and break out. It'll get over it, run up for a while, test back as support, and then keep going and leave all the retail investors behind wondering what just happened. Or price could go down next, like immediately down, maybe even before the Fed announcement, or accelerate after the Fed announcement, either way, and make another higher low before also swinging back up and breaking out. And then people also wonder, what the hell just happened in retail? One thing I've been hearing people talk about during the day today was that, okay, well, everyone's like hoping for a 50 basis point cut or a 0.5% cut to the overnight lending rate by the Fed. And other people are saying, well, 50 basis points is crazy. We're probably going to get 25 or a quarter point rate cut, the overnight lending rate. And so I'm thinking, well, what if everyone's priced in a 50 BP, a 50 point rate cut, and we only get a 25, and then that's what sends the market down? Or even if we get the 50, then everyone in the market says it goes down anyway because everyone says it was priced in. It was all priced in already. And then once we get it, it sells the news. And I'm only looking for still a higher low before it runs back up again, just to shake people out again. And so, like I was saying, I raised cash this morning just so I can trade. If we get a dip, I can buy into it. If I'm wrong and it just runs up, that's fine. I can buy into it, ride it up to where I think it might be peaking and coming to trade back down. I can always sell out what I've got up there. Yeah, that's what I've been talking about all day today. That and this VIX chart and Tesla not being able to get over 235. We can talk about that when we talk about Tesla.
Yeah. So Tracker, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Do you think that the Fed matters?
They don't. They're kind of an impediment, right? They slow things down and they speed things up. They're just another bottleneck for price action.
So
everyone stops to hinge on their, when they say they're going to make an announcement, that everyone drops what they're doing and watches their screens and waits, or they sell to position ahead of what they think might happen. And then usually what happens is then they give you the information and the market goes back to doing what it was already going to do anyway.
And do you think that we require the Fed to ease financial conditions to get easier access to capital, or do you think that the market kind of does it on its own?
Oh, the market definitely does it on its own. They just, like I said, they can slow things down or speed things up, but they don't, in the long run, if they didn't do anything, if we didn't have a Fed, I think the market would take care of itself. Maybe with more shocks here and there, but and also we wouldn't have quite the hegemony of the U.S. dollar worldwide. It's all part of the plan that they've got going. That and the super carriers.
Yeah, I mean the VIX is still under 20. We did have a spike that went all up to like around 65 just a couple of months ago, right? So and volatility, like you said, I think the weight that you're drawing is interesting because it is a little bit of a higher high, higher low kind of situation. You're not wrong. I just it's hard to chart the VIX because it's not necessarily like a growth asset, right? So so it's hard to know whether or not like it's going to be just like another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or do we already have like the ABC, going up, and then like is this going to be like the end of the VIX going up? I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I do think that the VIX more or less right now in the short term does have a little bit of momentum. So I think it could totally hit like 2025 and get everybody scared, but I'm not sure, if it necessarily has to be up that high. I don't know. It's just a little bit tricky to me. Another thing too is if you look at the 2-year and 10-year yields, like they already plummeted from like the 2-year already plummeted from like 5.2, 5.3% all the way down to like 3.6%, right? The 10 years already plummeted from like 5% all the way down to 3.6%. The 30-year mortgage rate already plummeted from like 7.8% to like 6.2%. So I would argue that financial condition has already been eased even before the Fed did anything. Like the markets already kind of did the Fed's job, which is probably a reason why the Fed is able to like not do anything and just keep the effective fund rate like up for that long, because they don't have to do anything. Like the banks are not failing because the market's already doing the job. Like the bonds is already going up. Like the whole entire thing I think in 2023 is they're trying to deleverage bonds, and I think that they're just trying to basically like everybody's like over leveraged bonds, right? Like because you can't go wrong. We buy bonds, so all the banks, all these banks are using all these crazy financial instruments. They're just leveraging bonds like crazy. And I think that deleveraging has already happened too, right? You got the NASDAQ deleverage, you got Bitcoin deleverage, you got bonds deleverage. and now you got Nike deleveraging, right? I mean, so I don't know. Like, I think the great deleveraging for our lifetime, for this like decade, I think is happened. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm just trying to pose a question.
Yeah, and I wanted to point out too, like maybe this is purposeful of them too, closing it right, a 4-hour candle right underneath the conversion line a little bit. Just because look at that gap right there. That's like a 1.5% gap. So it's like they could just scare people tomorrow and just go right back to support for the SPY. So I just think that was kind of intentional, just to do that, make a big wide range there, so it could do anything at once, and people would either panic or get euphoric or whatever, and it's just going to be doing what it's supposed to be doing no matter what. That's what I think.
That's a great way of looking at it.
Yeah, they're gonna use this excuse to like kill your puts. They're gonna use the excuse to kill your calls. They're gonna eat up all your shares if you try and sell covered calls. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna try to take away your stop loss. That's what they're gonna try and do.
Yeah, I think there'll probably be like on the news. It'll be a rally, and then probably when Powell speaks, it's just gonna start fading throughout the day, and then find a bottom somewhere. That's usually what happens. So. They have room to do whatever they want, and I don't really care to play that game. So therefore, I'm just gonna watch from the sidelines, and then if it goes lower, then great. If it goes higher, then great. It'll be fine with me. But there will be no panic. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure A and like the Ruban Booker, they're all like very, very super excited right now about what's going to happen tomorrow.
I can't handle that, but good on them. Yeah, good on them.
Yeah. What do you? Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think Tracker, I think we kind of all agree. I think it's all kind of like a, what do you call it? It's like a facade, if you will. Like the real market's already kind of taking care of itself, but tomorrow's going to be a show, and they're going to use, like, market makers can probably use it to just do whatever they want, like in the short term, but the long term global liquidity is rising. So anyway.
Yeah, I forgot to make this other point. I brought up in the Saturday show once, but the whole reason behind the Fed is they are there to protect the American banking system, and primarily the U.S. dollar and the central bank. That's all they're there for. They're not here to protect the consumer or anybody else. Maybe some rich people, but mostly they're just to make sure that their banking system doesn't fail.
Yeah, 100%. That is accurate.
Yeah. It's too bad though, because the economic hurricane was going to come in June of 2022 for Jamie Dimon. So it's kind of like I've suffered so much since he said the economic hurricane is going to come since June of 2022 because I was long everything. Like I should have listened to him. No, actually, I thought I didn't. Anyway, go ahead. Man, we're bitter. We're feisty today.
We are
super feisty.
All right, Matt. Here you go. You got the chart up. Yeah, let's talk about technical, shall we?
One thing I also wanted to say was, so besides my idea, Real Blonde Broker and some of her folks, they're hoping that what they want to trade tomorrow is they do want to see it break out. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't really have a chart for it, but they do want to see it break out first, go high, and then fall over, and then so they want to see it go up, make a new higher high, and then sell off so they can sell up here and then buy down here. In fact, wait, do I have a? Yeah, it's pretty much the same way I've got it here. So how high could it go tomorrow? I think they're looking for somewhere between in the 50s. Let's say 57.70 to 58.32.
Wow.
So they'd like to see it run up this far and then sell off to about the same level I'm looking for it to pull back to. So that would be a nice big swing that they want to trade. Anyway, that's what I wish RBB was here to tell us herself, but I think that's the gist I got from just exchanging a couple of messages with her today. Yeah, they like to. Oops, no.
Well, if we're gonna give away inside info, I can give another. Danny's SPY red candle on the weekly is it's been red. So I mean, anyway.
Yeah,
Cool.
it has been red. That is true.
Yeah. So anyway, like, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of volatility, but it'll be an insane move. It goes up to like 5,800.
Yeah, 58 back to 50, mid 54,
Yeah,
or high
because
54s.
that's like way outside the upper Bollinger Band on the daily. So that would
Yeah.
be like really crazy if it does that.
Yeah. And it wouldn't happen necessarily this fast. I'm just showing you with the rate, the level's going to bounce on. It's not going to.
Well, if that did happen, then I would imagine Bitcoin would break out, then everything would break out, then that would be the exact beginning of the everything rally, if that did happen. If it did shoot up just that fast,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's important to realize like volatility is your friend at the beginning of a market. Because if you don't have volatility, you can't get like the Bollinger Band stretching. You can't get your trackers, like wave 1, 2, 3, like the expansion. Like you can't get any of these things, So you actually want the volatility to actually expand things so things can go up higher if you're a bull. So.
Yeah, I love the volatility here. Like it's just fun. Like it's kind of crazy to watch it, but it's fun. It's part of the excitement of trading, I guess. Yeah.
Yep. Sometimes when I draw my lines, it's like the market's trying to push kind of a wet noodle. And that's why when you push on the back end of it, it kind of compresses a little bit. And then it finally does. You do get to move the tip of it forward. I know, but it's weird. It's like that.
Just the tip, right?
I heard wet noodle
It's this whipping
backhand.
action. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get that analogy out.
So many innuendos right there. I don't know.
Sorry, I'm lost.
We're getting off track. Yes.
Oh, we're getting it off. By the way, Vivian wants Cat to be president. Vivian says Cat for president.
Yeah, I'd second that. He's smart enough.
Yeah.
We'll boost you. Anyway.
And young enough and old enough.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm a 2-year-old cat, but yeah, please continue talking about the S&P 500. Please.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and there's a comment saying that it's triple witching on Friday too, so that's going to be more volatility as well.
Oh my gosh, crazy!
I've always thought that the triple or quadruple witching, like the volatility, really isn't that bad.
Is it quad witching or is it triple?
I guess it's triple, yeah. But I've always found these things to not be that volatile as much as people say it's going to be. So yeah, there is going to be like some like more than normal volatility, but it's never really like crazy, But anyway, people hype up these things.
All right, Tesla, how about you go show us what Tesla is going to do tomorrow, Tracker?
All right, well, here's what I'm thinking Tesla might do. It's weird. I did get to, based on this VIX chart, I drew up this fresh little Tesla chart, and I drew this ABC down right after we hit on this stuff. I thought we were going to hit the 38.2% pullback. I drew it right about here, and then when we moved higher, I had to pull the bands out. But I basically, once I got, we got to this high, I perfectly predicted this ABC down, which really doesn't predict a lot, except for today. But I thought that was kind of cool. Tomorrow, see, what they're trying to do is they're trying to stay close enough to 235 that they're in range to run up to it and possibly get over it. But if the market turns sour, they can also run back down and close this price gap down here. To taking the bottom of it would be 212. And what I also did was, if we did get a move down, I extrapolate this. A, B, C. Oh, when we got this, if this is the wave start, wave 1, then wave 2 comes back almost to 235, but all the highest that we got today was 234.58. If that whole thing was a wave start, believe it or not, it gets all the way down in 5 waves to 174.39. So I'm not saying that's where we're going, but based on this, if this was a 1, 2, when we got a 1, 2, 3 to 2, just under 200, wave 4 back to 210, then wave 5 down to 174.39. So basically, I just told everyone, if it breaks out above 235, I'll buy in. I'll buy in and then let the let it rise on up and just keep going as high as I dare. Or if it breaks down, if it can't get above 235, it just goes right to the edge and falls off again. Then I'll buy some just above 220. If it gets to 203, I'll buy everything down there too. If it gets to 182, then I'll just drop the hammer and everything. I'll just go all in. Anything under 182, because basically at 180, right here. No, I'm sorry. At 182 is a double bottom. Tesla hit exactly 182 on August 5th. That August 5th excitement that we had in the markets, that would be a double bottom if we got the 182. So that's what I'm looking. That's what I'm looking out for. Either breakout above 235, or it fails 235 and it just starts going down. And I'll just keep buying it as it goes down.
Are you gonna play any TSLL at some point? Like if you go
absolutely. When I say I'm going to buy Tesla, what
Yeah.
I really mean is I'm going to buy TSLL because I want to leverage that volatility. I want to leverage that movement up.
That's what
I'm not looking for it to go to 170 or 150 or double bottom 138.80. I called this. I told people when I posted this afternoon. This is the worst case scenario, and I'll buy every little step of it there. Or the breakout. I'll buy the breakout too.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting on. I think I'm like half cash. I'm 50% of my whole portfolio value. I'm 50% cash right now.
What do you? What's the sentiment of people talking to you right now, Tracker? Like, do you think they all want to buy below 200, or do you think they're just like still scared and just don't trust the moves?
No, I think most people are looking forward to break out. I think most people are bullish, and they're ready to buy. Everything looks poised to buy. Everything looks pretty good. The economic data that came out this morning looked good. Matt and I were both watching micro to macro, his live show, and he said everything looks bullish everywhere. It looks like stuff just wants to break out and go higher, and I believe that. So, which is exactly why I'm looking forward to run down first, and then recover and go up, just because it looks like everyone's waiting for it to go straight up.
Yeah, I got quite a few reasons to why I think it might be hard for it to break down below 200.
Sure.
Technically speaking, I mean, I guess I can show it real quick before. Anything else you want to show us, Tracker?
Well, let's see. Where's my larger chart? So this is a daily chart with the Ichimoku's. Let's just go to a straight Ichimoku chart. You'll probably show us the same thing here. But here's the conversion line right here. It's sitting at 223. The most it could do without without going into the cloud is 220. If it did go through the cloud, then the baseline's down here at 214.81. Maybe we should look at the weekly chart even. Look, now the baseline's down here at 205.
Yeah.
So maybe we already had one wick down to the baseline too. So it doesn't have to come back and touch it again.
Yes, true.
Maybe it just gets one more touch to the conversion line down here at 218 and then goes up.
Yeah, it's true. You want me to show you other things?
Yes, I want to see your viewpoint.
You'll be quick.
Please.
Let me go ahead and share. I'm in the show. You can see my stuff. Okay. I'm going to be a little bit of a bear here. I'm going to show you the 2-week Ichimoku cloud. I mean, it sucks.
Oh, yeah. I love your 2-week Ichimoku cloud.
Yeah, it sucks. Got rejected today, didn't it? Yeah, it did. It's right there. It's just, yeah. It's like the snobbiest, prettiest girl that I've known. It just keeps on rejecting. That's well. But if you look at, so you mentioned a few things, right? Well, first of all, you're already on top of the weekly Ichimoku cloud. It could potentially be service support. You mentioned about the conversion. You mentioned about the base. You mentioned about the bottom of the cloud, right? So it's going to be hard for you to break underneath 200. I'm going to show you other things too. You have the boomerang support band, which is also right around like 210 to around 206. That's going to be potential support. Is positively rising. You got your 50 and 100 week moving average right around the area where the baseline is located. You got your EMA, the 50 EMA is also right around that area. And you also got like the Tsupiichi cloud, which also has a lot of support. You see how much support is down here?
All of the indicators are showing support.
You see, Yeah, like I can like like some chart here, like that's too many stuff here. But I'm putting all the
You
I'm
need
putting
to
like
draw more lines just to make it more. Yeah, just hand draw them in there really quickly.
if I
Yeah.
zoom out, it's gonna look like a Charlie Day chart that like the tracker has, right? Like I
Oh,
zoom
yeah.
out, it's like what the heck am I looking at? But if you
Yeah.
look at if you zoom in, if you just look at the area down here, like is it gonna break down underneath like 210 or 205? I'm not sure. Like it's just gonna be really, really, really tough. Like if it does that,
But just
man.
what is the bottom of that cloud there on your
The bottom of the cloud,
yeah, on that 1 week chart?
around 200. Like
And
you can
then next week?
wait next week.
No. Just go a little farther there on the right.
Well, I got too much junk here. You're talking about like the Ichimoku cloud, or are you talking
Yeah,
about
what's the bottom of the red Ichimoku cloud in November?
November?
Yeah.
You going that far?
I'm just
185.
it's how much?
185.
25. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's the worst case scenario.
It's
If
possible. Anything's possible,
yeah.
But I just showed you like you have so much support. This is not even funny. Like everything is so confluent around that zone. So even
Yep.
if price gets down there, it'd be like okay, I see why you're doing that. I actually think it already back tested that zone of like confluence right here.
Yeah.
Back in August. So I have a hard time. I can totally see like the cloud potentially even holding, and it just does nothing. It just stays on top of the cloud. Just like how man, like now I gotta get rid of all this crap. Sorry. It's just like how
No,
I
you're right.
think,
August 5th was do your worst, and
yeah,
that was it.
right. Just like how I think it might potentially just ride down the 2 week Ichimoku cloud for another like few weeks or so before breaking out. Like I think it's probably going to do not much. The volatility for Tesla could be like plus or minus 5 to 10% a day, and that's like nothing on these charts. So but anyway, I'm done. I'm going to relinquish control. I just wanted to show you all the confluence support down below, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Kat.
I'll show mine real quick, and we can just see that this 382 is what I'm really focused on the most, even more than that Ichimoku on the daily chart. 382, 221, 26. Like keep on closing weekly candles above that, then it can just build that base to go into space. I think that's what it's going to do. And could it go back down there tomorrow? Sure, why not? Could it go back down a little bit below? Sure, why not? Right, but it still doesn't change the thesis that it's really making a lot of higher lows from the bottom here, and even it's just looking really good. And I think what we can see is using a little handy dandy trend based fib right here, we can see what's really happening right there, and it's just getting rejected by the 382, right? The 382 over and over and over again. And I think this is more confluence that the 213 level does want to hold, right? It really wants to hold. And what is that 213 level? Well, if you put on the monthly Ichimoku there, it's the bottom of the cloud, right? So it's in confluence of that trend-based fib as well. So I think, will it go lower than 213 anymore? I'm not sure about that, right? It looks like it really wants to hold that level, and not sure if it wants to even go back to 208s or 204s or whatever, or even below 221 for that matter, right? So that's what I'm really paying attention to on this chart right here, those fibs right there. And
looking at that chart, I just remembered what it was that RBB was hoping for. That gap, they want to fill that gap back in July to August. Like, yeah, that gap right there. They're hoping that gets filled up and then rejected.
Yeah, I think that's what's probably likely. Like maybe the rate cut comes out, the gap gets filled, and then when Powell starts speaking, maybe it comes back down to test some support or something. But I think no matter what, all that really matters is weekly candle closes still above that 382. And so far, it did it last week, and it looks like it has the potential to do it this week. Then can build that base to go to the 0.5 level at 258. So I think it's in the works of that happening, but just ignore the noise from the day to day. And I think week to week, it's still going to trend higher and higher.
Yes, absolutely.
So
all right, I think we've tested it. What's
So,
next?
And we're done now.
And we're done.
Palantir.
Yeah, sure, Palantir. Do it.
Yeah, so Palantir, this is the only thing I care about is the 786, and Tracker and I were talking about it this morning, and it was opening above it this morning, but as the day went by, it decided to close another day below it. And this is the weekly chart, but going to the daily chart, you can see that it closed 2 days in a row below it and still is resistance, right? So people want to say that it's going to break through. Well, it has to prove it to me first because I don't see it yet. Don't see it breaking through at all and just see it as resistance. And like I said, it could wick to the 37s. And what did it get to today? It got to 37.05. And it's doing exactly what I thought so far. So if that's the case, then going back to the weekly chart here, possibly it'll want to go back to 33 if it cannot break this 786.
Very cool. I've got a quick little Palantir chart. I can show
Yeah,
you one where I said, oh, it looks like
Go-
it topped.
Go ahead.
So Palantir would hit 3682. I said, oh, look, it hit my 76.4% fib. That's the top I was calling for. And if that is, if 764 is the top, then it's going to want to pull back all the way to the 382 down here at 2857. Now, there's another chance that it's not going to do it that deep. And maybe what we're looking at instead is a wave start from the August 5th low to 33 and back to 29. And so then this purple one is the 0 level. And what it did was it got to the 618 of the purple level, which means it would pull back to the 236, the 23.6 of that purple. So it goes either 764, 382 in the black, or in this light purple, 61.8 to 23.6. So that would pull it back to 32.28. I guess I should just do, yeah, 32.28. And then that's as low as it would go. And then it would make a new higher high, going up to 44.58, which kind of goes along with the way, gosh darn it, not anyway, it goes with the idea that it's like to skip around by 5. It's like $5 up, $10 down, $5 up, $10 down. So let's see how that goes. Yeah, so either a pullback to 32.28, but if it gets lower than that, it could be pulling back all the way to 28.57. And then that goes all the way up to 15. The 1382, the sort of, it's almost like a large degree wave, goes up to $50 a share in 5 waves to get up there. And that is my Palantir. Oh man, I love it when Matt's done talking about Palantir, because you know what he likes to say? You've been Palantold.
Oh yes. Hey. I don't want to Palantir it, okay?
Oh wow. Okay. Oh wow.
I wonder what the 2-week Ichimoku cloud looks like on Palantir.
It's
Wow,
not
so
gonna
far
show
above it.
you- Yeah, it's not going to show you anything. Like at this
Yeah.
point, Ichimoku is not going to show you too much. Like, yeah, the monthly might show you that. Like anyway, like nothing's going to show you anything.
Yeah.
The monthly is basically showing you that both the conversion and the baseline is like pointing way up. Like the momentum's huge. If you look at your MCDX plus underneath, it's like wow, you know.
Yeah, 92% and 8% others, 0% retail on the monthly.
Yeah.
Bollinger Band is starting to point down on the bottom side here.
Yeah.
It's in the negatives. It's in negative 364.
Yeah. So the question is, would you short this?
No, absolutely not.
Then would you count on the probability of it being the wave one right there as high, medium, or low?
I'd say kind of high.
Okay.
But I mean, I can see the Bollinger Band's got room for it to run all the way up to 100%.
Yeah, actually, I don't know why your Bollinger Band is so wide, because mine actually looks like it's a lot narrower. It's interesting.
Oh, let's see what kind of settings I've got.
Yeah, this is monthly.
21.
Maybe because you're using 21, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, what number do you use on your
I
band?
use 20. I just use 20. Like I stick everything with 20. I don't know if it's gonna make that big a difference though. Yeah, it still looks a little bit different. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
All right. Then there's this really lovely chart that we were talking about on the Saturday show. It's really cool. You either get price corrections happen either in linearly over time, and you get the whole thing kind of drawn out like this, or you get these fast spikes where the price correction happens in actual price. And so whenever you see price going sideways for a very long time, it's just building up a lot of pressure, and you can expect one of these bigger price corrections over price movements. And that's why I've got all these little triangles where Palantir like went sideways, jumped up, sideways, jumped up, sideways, jumped up twice. Maybe it's gonna have to jump up again before it goes sideways again. That's why I've got, but between 50 and 42 is where I'm anticipating the next sideways action. That's all I got on Palantir.
All right. Well, I've been Palantold, so let's see what I got here.
Only Mac can do that. Mac can Palantold.
Yeah.
He invented it.
You guys are silly. All right. So
Oh,
this
you're
is,
Lulu?
yeah, this is a chart for Lululemon.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
This is after it pulled out from the great financial crisis, bottom. The stock, I think, IPO like around 2007. And it got up to like as high as like $30 and then like plummeted all the way down to like $2, right? And then it went all the way up to the upper Bollinger Band on the monthly. This is a monthly chart for that. Went sideways for like almost like a whole year, and then you have these like crazy move that just kept on going up for like months and months at a time, and it basically just like doubled and tripled, right? I don't know if I want to like really bet against Palantir right now. You know what I mean? Like, just look at it's got a parabolic move up kind of look to it. And the lower Bollinger Band is just starting to expand downwards. And my monthly Bollinger Band looks a little bit different from yours. I don't know why, but like my setting is like I didn't change any of the settings. I just use like 20 and then 2 standard deviation. So maybe the source is a little bit different, but this is like my Bollinger Band. It hasn't really even started to expand yet. And the upper Bollinger Band continues to expand upwards, and you do have right now price is a little bit higher than the than upper Bollinger Band, so it's a little bit concerning because that's the thing, right? With Elite Wave, you always have like the wave 1 that pushed the Bollinger Band open, and that's why you have a wave 2, because you cannot just be way outside upper Bollinger Band. You have to cool down, right? But the initial volatility kind of pushed it open, right? And then after that, you have a wave 3. And again, I don't know where wave 2 would be in this particular case. Maybe it's a little bit like wave flat.
It went sideways right there. Yeah.
Right. That would be wave 2 right there, right? And that would be right. That would be like wave 1 of 3, right? And if that's wave 2 of 3.
That's right.
And then you're starting wave 3 of 3, and you're calling for a top. I don't know.
no, not a top, just
right. I mean, I'm not the top. I know what you mean. Like, but you're calling for like the where the wave 3 of 3 is going to end. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like the same thing here with Lululemon. I think you just kind of hit like escape velocity, and it's going kind of like very, very parabolic. It's got a parabolic move to it, right? So I don't know when it's going to end. The downtrend, I can take this off of logarithmic too. The downtrend, you eventually lose momentum, and that's when you have like a little bit of a rounded bottom over here, right? But the uptrend so far, like, it just looks parabolic. Like, I don't know when this thing's going to end. Like I can totally see it coming down. I can totally see it making another wave down for sure, because there's no way that this thing was just like keep going up, right? But I don't know when it's going to do that. I just don't know. I think your Fibonacci level makes sense. I have nothing like against your technical analysis at all. Sure. I just think that the monthly R size like in the 70s, but like when things get going, like even Lululemon get to like the 80s, and even when it gets to the 80s, it make like a double top over here on RSI, and it just keeps on going up. Yep. You could potentially capture some of the downward moves like this guy over here. You could potentially do that, but that's maybe like after a few candles after that, right? So it's hard to know whether or not the Fib level would necessarily be resistance. I think if you're gonna if you want to be cautious, trying to take profit, I think it's reasonable, but I don't think it's a guarantee.
But it's also it's also a monthly candle too, and it's already up 15-16% for the month. So going back down to like 33 and then maybe finishing the month strong is still in the cards, and that's not going to change the Bollinger Bands. It's not going to change anything, it's gonna if it goes down like for a couple days and then finishes the week above 37 or the month above 37, then that still is within the cards too. So
I agree with that. I mean, just like when Bitcoin is kind of going up, I would say like if you're over here, like, oh, it's gonna keep going up, but like next thing you know, hit like the next month candle, it still came back like 20-30% down, and it still corrected. So I can totally see that in the part of parabolic bull trend. I can totally see that too.
It's funny, the Elliott waves, just like Elliott waves don't predict time very well, if at all. They also they do. They catch all of the wicks. What I'm trying to do is catch the tails going up and down. It doesn't really tell you where the center of mass on the candles are going to close from day to day, but it just shows you all the extremes it can hit.
I do worry that this is like a wave 3 of 3, and it can go on longer than people would think, and it might. I think that they already have like a major correction over here, in August. So it does make me wonder whether or not we're going to end up going back to like 30 or 28 or even 25. Some people call it 25 still. Technically speaking, it's all possible, but I just don't know, especially with the MCDX plus like being so hot, like I don't know, like it's tough for me. Like monthly is pretty. Anyway, yeah, I'm just exercising caution. Like I think it's okay to not buy at this level. I'm not buying right now, but I don't know if I would go short, and I also don't know if I would like sell and try to buy back lower necessarily. I would keep what I have, and if it goes back down to that low, I would buy more. But I'm just a little bit worried about, like, it's just like catching a falling knife, right? Like you're trying to look at Fibonacci levels. You're like, oh, this is a Fibonacci level where it's supposed to go down to, and this is a good area to catch a knife. But it can hurt sometimes. I think it's kind of like the inverse of that right now. It's kind of what I'm thinking.
Exactly right. It's terrifying to try to catch the tails.
Yeah, so I think it's reasonable. Like everything you're saying is completely reasonable, but I'm just trying to play a little bit of a devil's advocate because of just how parabolic it is. That's all. I guess it's not really like technical analysis, but I guess it's more like a hunch, I guess.
No, I love that. What I love about your analysis, Kaz, you come in and you try to take a more holistic approach and look at all the indicators, even using Matt as an indicator and me as an indicator, and trying to come up with a picture that threads the needle through all these different viewpoints.
I love you too.
Aww. Cat's the glue that holds us all together.
Yeah, I'm sticky. I'm sticky and grows out in the shower. But anyway, what else do you guys want to talk about next?
Well, let's
usually do
see
NVIDIA
here.
at this point.
Yeah, I guess we could do NVIDIA.
Might as well do all the big three. Yeah, the usual. The usual. Because if you know these three, like that really tells you where the pulse in the market is, plus Bitcoin. Like that really tells you a lot of things.
This is our go-to zone, the techs, but because we're looking for the most growth, so we love to go to tech.
So my linear scale again, I think, is telling a very bullish story, but my log scale again is telling the opposite story, right? But I always say that there's the true market symmetry exists on linear scale because that's when the angles are actually equidistant from each other and they're not based off percentages, right? So essentially it's holding support perfectly on a month to month basis. So that angle right there, like 108, 109, that has been support, and it's been proven to be support with all these wicks through it. So I think that angle can still hold as support as the months go by, but it also can probably still wick below and go below, right? So, but with that being said, when I put on the Ichimoku and switch it to the weekly chart here, we can see that it still is pretty far away from the cloud, right? And I know Bitcoin just touched the cloud, like Solana just touched the cloud. A lot of them just touch the cloud on the crypto side. So maybe NVIDIA could be next before it wants to go higher. So I think I'm kind of leaning still towards that it's going to make maybe just lower highs and higher lows until it gets to the cloud over here, maybe in December or November or so, before it really wants to go higher. So I'm really leaning towards that side right now, just because when I pull up my log scale here, no, not Doge, come on. Yeah, so where, let me go to the monthly chart of this one here. Yeah, so when I go to the log scale, it's just more proof of that is resistance, right? So every time it wants to come up to the low 120s, it looks like it wants to get rejected. So that's just more proof to me that maybe month after month, it might want to just touch that weekly cloud over here and then finally break free and go higher. So I can see maybe a few more months of just sideways, maybe go up to 120s, go down to the 110s, go up to the 120s, down like in that zone until it's ready to break out. So that's what I see for NVIDIA still.
Very nice.
Tracker, you got anything?
Yeah, you can show my little crazy NVIDIA chart here again. Welcome to the world of Charlie Day here. But NVIDIA's been tracking inside of this big triangle here, a converging resistance trend, a converging support trend. And every time I watch Matt talk about his NVIDIA Gann chart, this just seems less and less probable. But if things were to, if we had another shock to the system, it'd be kind of cool. Like I see the moving average 200. This is the daily chart, the daily moving average 200, making its way slowly up here. And if price wanted to come down as far as the 23.6 fib extension, because a lot of times I told you sometimes price likes to go 618.236, then 1236. That could do it. If we pull back the 236, it would pull the rubber band back and just launch it way up here to 182. I guess we don't have to have that. Because this is we already had the 764. Then see, it kind of lost the 236 here, which is making me wonder, maybe it just gets over on the 3.2. So what now? 764, it lost it, but then it gets the 3.2. Then 1382 is next for 195. But yeah, just this idea that if it wanted to go to the 236, then maybe it might hit it right when the moving average 200 gets to the 236. So that's about October 3rd on my daily chart. So that's just kind of interesting to see if these two are fated to meet on October 3rd at $96. I would buy the hell out of that. Other than that, if it just goes sideways, as Matt says, I think 108.68 should be support in that case. If it can't get below 108.68, buy it every time it dings the bottom there, and forget about this. And even so, like in the longer term, it's just $8. So maybe just every time it hits 108.68, buy that anyway, and don't worry about 96. And this thing's going to go eventually to either, whoops, where we go, 7812. It's either going to 182 or 195. Take your pick. That's where it's going next for the heart of the third wave. Third of the third will take us up there. And that is my NVIDIA chart.
You feel that as time goes on, the likelihood of going to 96 decreases? I don't know. It's hard to know.
Well, let's see. Just like so, when I showed this to Matt the first time, he said, "Oh yeah, because look, the 200 could just maybe price does go sideways. It never gets under 382, and you just extend this line out. It's like this. Maybe it goes sideways until it hits the 382 right here near November 8th, November 11th, election day. Maybe even what earnings is on November 14th and election day is November 8th. When is election day? Hang on, I got to pull it up.
Heidi, what did you say? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear your mic. She made a comment.
Oh, so Heidi's still here? That's so cool. No, don't pick on Heidi.
I couldn't hear you.
We couldn't hear you.
The first Tuesday in November, right? That's the 5th. So by the 6th, we'd have a result from the elections, and then NVIDIA reports earnings on the 14th, a week later. So yeah, maybe if the SMA just keep going up like this, and maybe it gets to touch this, then that would probably mean it got higher, as high as the 618 by then a quick touchdown to the 382, and then off it goes. Or maybe just stays under the see, and I've got this ABC going down from 129-ish can't get over the 50% mark. We're under the 50% mark. The 50% extension. Sorry, right here, and then back to the 382 or the 236. So we'll see. Looking at fib levels, I would say buy this 38.2 near 108.68, and anything that you get under that is just an extra gift.
Yeah, because I can totally see it hitting the 0.382, like it's right at the triangle bottom. Like I can totally see it happening. Yeah, it might be a little bit rougher to go down further. I don't know. Like who knows?
Yeah, it could try to scare us and make a little wick below and then close back above it on that day. That's around September 30th, October 1st.
Yeah,
right there on the daily chart.
Yeah, and that would still be like NVIDIA going sideways.
Exactly.
Even if it hit 96, it's still NVIDIA going sideways.
Because it looks like we got a wave top, ABC. Yeah, the wave top, ABC, and then now it's making a new smaller degree wave, 1, 2, and this is going to be a 1, 2. If it doesn't make a new lower low, then 100, and then that just takes us on out into the heart of the wave.
Yeah, looks good. It's all about probability. It's not necessarily like absolute or anything, but yeah. It helps you devise a plan. It tells you what levels to really consider getting in if you haven't yet. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So NVIDIA to the moon. Yeah.
NVIDIA to the moon. I still have my chart where I've got this. It asymptotically approaches 400, or just like it just shoots up. It shoots up to like it shoots up to 400 next from here, right?
That would never happen, Matt. They'll keep splitting it.
Wait, let me just look at my GAN.
I want to show you my GAN.
Okay.
Here it is. Or this is my still up here. Yeah. This purple line is the one that asymptotically runs up to maybe it fits the 400. Here's 393.84, and then this is not matched GAN. This is my attempt at a GAN chart. It seems
I got you guys both addicted to it.
I know, it's so fun. I love GAN.
Yeah. It's incredible because it tells a story right in front of your eyes.
Yeah, it does.
Let's look at your chart. I'm done with mine.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm doing this on the monthly here. I got like 720 and got 5 as the ratio. So it gives me pretty good market symmetry. Actually, I think that it's really since like 1999. I think it's good, pretty decent market symmetry. Actually, like especially over here during like the whole 2022 scare. Right now, I agree with you. I think it's at resistance. Like it looks different from yours, but it still tells you the same story. I mean, play around with the GAN too. Like it's actually interesting. Like if you play around with the ratio and you try to like be biased about it, it won't let you. It still shows like different kinds of market symmetry, even if you put different ratios in there. So, but this is like the one that I'm putting in based on like the amount of time I want to look at, and based on like how tall I want to look at. And
I'm just looking at yours, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but my arc that I was talking about, like near 400, is like where your horizontal GAN line is right there.
360, 355, 360, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can totally see it. Like it's just basically stuck under resistance. If it breaks out, who knows when that's going to be. The only issue I have though is that if it keeps on going sideways for longer, your low Bollinger Band is really gonna like come up exponentially fast because it's already doing that. So where are we right now? Are we at like maybe like this part of the cycle? Are we at this part of the cycle? I don't know. Like if you're looking at like the little cleavage right there, I guess it'll be April 2017. If you look over it like at the true like up, it'd be like August 2017, right? So April.
One thing's a little bit lower than the other.
Yeah, see what's happening around April or August here on this cycle, right? April's right here. Whoa, what's going to happen next?
That's crazy, like an L.
Yeah, right.
Like
and then if you're talking about August, well, maybe we only have like a little tiny bit of gain, but it doesn't seem to be, because we're kind of just going sideways here for a while. So who knows? Is this the time for NVIDIA to like put up or like shut up? I don't know, right? The other area here too, you can also see a very similar thing over here. Bollinger Band contraction started to happen around like January or February, right? And then maybe within a couple months, you have some pretty big moves that come up, and it can still do like another, 2.5, 3x. But that would be kind of like towards the end of the cycle. So the longer it goes sideways, I think the greater the risk for less move up, towards the end of the cycle. So I actually, my personal preference, again, the market doesn't do what I want it to do. My personal preference is like it does like a big move like this, which means that you can still, maybe have a little bit more runway. But yeah, right now I don't know. It's really hard to say. The other thing to kind of play the devil's advocate to say that maybe price doesn't have to go sideways for that long anymore is because we already came back and back tested the conversion on the monthly.
Yes.
And over here, we went sideways for longer because we didn't really touch the conversion until like 7 or 8 months later, right? Whereas here, we went sideways, but eventually, as soon as we touched the conversion, it just wanted to keep going up. Like this is how impulsive the bull trend is, right? So I don't know in terms of whether or not it's just going to like end up next month you're going to make like another L up. I don't know. It's possible.
Make that happen.
It's possible, or maybe wait for another couple of months. Maybe touch the cloud like on the weekly, like what Matt is saying. Before it goes up. Maybe like November or something like that before it goes up. I don't know, but I just would like to see it. If the sooner it moves up, I think the higher upside you're going to have. But the more it goes sideways for longer, I think the less potential upside you have, just based on the bullish band, based on what I'm seeing over the last 2 cycles. That's all. So I do favor it moving up faster rather than having it go sideways for longer because you already back tested the conversion. But that's just my thought.
No, that makes sense. It's made another little, it kind of did a correction over time. It's gone horizontal long enough. It's ready to do another shoot up again.
Yeah, I think so. And I wanted to give a shout out to all the regulars: Scott, V, Jules, Kim, DK. We got, I think that's everybody.
I know, it's love to see it. And
yeah, thank you all
Kim
for coming.
appreciates life. Yep.
That's right. Thank you all for coming. I don't know what you're here for because we're just 3 dudes, or two dudes in a cat just talking. But welcome. Welcome. Well, you know what? What would be a good thing to go to? I guess you want to talk about Bitcoin and kind of see what you're seeing.
Yeah, let's hit all the greatest hits.
The greatest hits.
Yep.
Yeah, the B word.
Free bird.
The B word.
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
Alrighty. Yeah, where's that screen button? There it is. So here it is, Bitcoin, the glorious chart. It's still above monthly chart. It's still above the arc. It's still above everything that I care about. And previous resistance flipped to a support. That is the market symmetry that I care about. And that means eventually it'll get back above that green level, 62,500, and then get up to 2 million. It's going to be that simple, guys. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, look at that.
All right, we're out.
And mic drop. Boom.
Well, I mean, Bitcoin's going to split. So, no, actually, no. Anyway,
but by that time, the debasement of currency will be so bad that 1 million Bitcoin will actually just buy you a Starbucks. So that'll be okay.
Oh my God. We'll be back to like 10 Bitcoins is 1 pizza, like that guy.
Yeah.
Bought the 10 Bitcoin
It'll be back where it started, right? Yeah.
Full circle.
But here's the thing that I think is important to watch is that 50-week moving average and the resistance above, right? You can see that the baseline above 61,167, that is resistance, right? It can't get above it. And granted, there's still 5 days left in the week, but it can't really get above it. So again, it could be just drifting sideways until it maybe touches the cloud again or something in late October, November, and then go higher. Or maybe this week will be the week to just have one giant bullish engulfing candle to get above everything and then go higher, right? We'll see. This could be the week if there's positive information with that rate cut and Jerome Powell says nice things. But,
you mean just like 4 weeks ago and then like 5 weeks before that? Just kind of came back down.
Yeah. So what we'll see is just it exploded higher than it was a bearish engulfing on the way down.
What's this? Like the wick is stuck under the baseline there, and if it could just get between the baseline and your horizontal green Gann line, then that would force it up.
But it's looking really, really nice for for hitting just the 50 right there. And if we just go back in time with the weekly averages, you can see throughout time the 50 has always been a nice place to bounce off until it wasn't, right? But when it broke through, then it became resistance and was all over. But we're basically at a point in time where it should be bouncing and continuing higher. So I think the fears out there of going lower, I don't know. I don't really see it. I just think what really matters the most is holding that 54,586, and it can do whatever it wants in between there until it's ready to break out above. But just holding this really, really nicely is proof, in my opinion, that it's just currently a breakout and a back test and wants to go higher. So that's what I'm seeing right now.
I guess one way I look at it is Bitcoin has these two opposing forces that are guiding its movement. One is that, how popular the coin is, and it becomes more in demand. That forces the price up. And the other one is the debasement of the dollar value. So a stronger dollar pushes it down, and a weaker dollar buoys it up.
Yeah, I agree.
I wonder if Cat's got a chart for that.
But it's
I bet you could make one.
But the DXY is just in comparison with other global currencies, so that's why it's still around 100. So it's not really like the true value of the dollar. But like if you do the purchasing power, you can see probably what purchasing power was like for people in 2022 compared to now. Like I'm sure a Chipotle burrito was maybe like $8 back then, and now it's like $10 now, right? So that's kind of
more.
Like it's $20 now if you want to get $8 worth of food back then. So like,
that's true. That's true.
They really screw you anyway.
Yeah. I mean, just going to Popeyes or something, like they're happy. their chicken sandwiches are like what, $7-8 just for one sandwich or something. That's kind of ridiculous. Not even the meal deal, right?
It's $5. Oh well, in my market in North Carolina, it's $5.
Oh, okay.
For the sandwich only.
Yeah, I went to
Chick-fil-A
the other day and I got a $7 spicy, and that was without the meal. I'm like, what am I doing? This is not even healthy for me. Yeah. It wasn't about the price. It was about, this is not really healthy. So anyways, I digress. Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't really, like the DXY doesn't take into account what is actually our value over dollar. It's just in comparison to other currencies out there in the world. So to get that, we would have to do some other kind of calculation. But yeah, the value of all risk assets are continuing to climb because of the debasement of our currency, and it's going to continue that way because the governments around the world cannot stop spending. So anybody like fearing, I think, a recession, it's just not warranted, because people don't want to hold cash anymore. It's like an invisible tax. Every year it's an invisible tax. So why not just put it into a growth asset to make money?
Because Bitcoin is volatile, but the dollar is going to zero. So
yeah,
it's hard to.
Imagine having $10,000 from when you were like a kid, and you'd be like, "Oh, I'm so rich," and then now that $10,000 like buys you like a banana or something. It's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the Weimar Republic of Germany, all over again, post World War I, where they literally had to put all your cash into a wheelbarrow to take it to market to pay for stuff, because those dollars were worth so little.
Well, they had a second chance. They could have held on to the Bitcoin, but they ended up selling it recently. So I don't know what they're doing. This is the DXY and the.
I knew you'd have a chart for this.
Just because you say it, it takes me like 60 seconds to pull it up. They don't really have like perfect reverse correlation, but it's pretty close. Like the Bitcoin top over here, the DXY top over here, October 2022, pretty close to the Bitcoin bottom. Like they bottom in November. The Bitcoin top around around November, but I think the technical clock may be around like April 2021 is getting pretty close to like the bottom of the DXY. So it's not perfect, but it's pretty decently correlated. I guess it's but anyway, just
the other thing to factor in, you can't really do a chart for it, is just the popularity of Bitcoin. As the coin becomes more and more in demand, it also pushes the price up, which is why they don't match.
And they don't always have to match, because you're always going to have people who are going to like overshoot things or undershoot things. So for example, even if you are doing the Matt's favorite like M2 Global Liquidity Index, like it overall matches, but you're not going to match it perfectly. Sometimes you're just going to overshoot. like over here, like it already like topped over here, but the liquidity continued to kind of go up. So it's not going to always be perfect here. It topped over here, and then you still maybe have like another little tiny leg up. Like it's not going to be perfect, but you're always going to have a little bit of push and pull. You're going to have like a little bit of euphoric, and I think the reason why market goes down is because they need to deleverage. To be honest, that's really like the biggest reason. But anyway, I digress. Look at the daily chart. I never used to look at daily chart, but like if you wanted to look at what is happening potentially for tomorrow, they really look like they want to put up a stone wall around like 60.5, 61, somewhere around there. Like they really, let me see actually, do they have a stone wall? Order block detector. Let me see the other one. No, there are a bunch of demand down here. Let's look at a different time frame. 18-hour. Nope. Let's look at 4-hour here. Yeah, they put a stone wall here. It's yeah. So basically, what they're doing is, I think there is room for it to go down tomorrow, just like what you would expect for volatility. How far is it going to go down tomorrow? Well, just looking at a short time frame support, maybe the cloud's going to be, I think it's going to hit the cloud for sure, like 59.5. Is it going to hit down here to like 58.8 or 58.5, somewhere around there? I think it's entirely possible. Even if it's a wick, I think it's entirely possible for it to go down to hit these levels tomorrow at some point. Even if it has even if it goes up like crazy, I think it's probably going to go back down and like test some of these levels. Just the way that the structure is looking, like overall, it looks like it wants to go up a little higher. These are more bullish structure here on the shorter term, but it does look like it wants to do something a little bit devious, especially before like the tanking process above the Kijun here. So probably going to go down a little bit is my guess. If you had to speculate, again, I'm not trading in this stuff. I don't really care, but like it's just kind of what I'm kind of seeing. The 4-hour chart looks interesting. You got a little bit of katana here. So and right now price is above that. So
katana.
Yeah, so I don't know whether or not the katana is going to work out. I mean, it worked out down here on the way down. So it worked out over here from the way down. So I don't know if it's going to work on the way up. But I can totally see.
I just picked the jaw off the floor. How did you get that order block data? Was that just is that Bitcoin only?
It showed me. No, you can do it for anything. Order block detector, Lux Algo.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I have to get that.
Yeah, and different time frame shows you different blocks. So yeah, play around with it.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, that's what A showed me. But anyway, got a little bit of katana here. Can I see it potentially going down to like the cloud? I think it's possible. Where is it going to be at? Around 58.6. In the 4-hour chart. And if you look at like let's see here. If you look at the higher time frame, even on the weekly, where is the so 59.5? I think it's probably going to end up hitting tomorrow. I mean, like it's just, I think it's going down before going up, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't care. But like that's kind of what I'm seeing. I don't really have much else to add besides the fact that I'm still bullish on Bitcoin because of what Matt is showing, and because of where is it? Because another couple of reasons. One is just the Ichimoku. It's still holding a conversion very nicely. It kind of reminds me over here, actually. But yeah, it just looks like the downtrend is like really starting to kind of decelerate now. Even if you look at like a lower time frame, it looks like initially you have like some pretty significant downtrend. It just looks like the downtrend is like starting to decelerate here a little bit. So
it's a bullish wedge down.
Exactly. That's exactly kind of what you're seeing, right? So I think eventually it's gonna break out to the upside. I just don't know when. Maybe after they like collect enough liquidity. The monthly Bollinger Band still hasn't shown any like euphoria yet. They didn't just accumulate for like a year and a half for nothing. This is like nothing. This is like wave. Some people again, tracking again, like people say that this is like wave 1, this is wave 3, and like this is like a prolonged wave 4. I don't know.
It's not even. You just have to pull back a little bit. You can see there's so much more within that.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't know, like maybe even within like a shorter, like within this time frame, like this could potentially be, and it's similar to altcoins too. I think this could potentially be a wave 1, and this is a 2. If that's the case, then wave 3 is going to be crazy.
Pull back just a little. I want to use your chart for a second. Okay, see where there's a wick all the way over 2018. It's the wick at the top of 2018.
Yeah,
right there. That's your 1. Mm-hmm. And then that's your 2, the next lowest low after that. and then you had a failed start to the next wave.
Mhm.
So 2019 to 2020, that's your A, B, and that's your wave one top
Mhm.
next. And now we've kind of almost a double top for the wave one.
Wait,
So
so
your
you
wave
think this is,
two is 2023.
so you think this is the
That's wave one right there.
wave one? The entire thing is. Let me
Yep.
see. I'm going to zoom out even a little bit further. Sorry, since 2020, that's 2010. Sorry, that's going to give you a little bit of a different picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, I think it's hard to say.
I'm used to looking on a linear scale.
You can look at Bitcoin linear scale. It's not going to show you anything. But a lot of people are saying, like, in the short time frame, this is like wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 is going to be like maybe like 100,000, something like that.
No, well, they're right on a minor scale.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even then, like with APLD wave, there are like alternate counts, right? That doesn't have to be it. It depends on how it evolves, right? So it's hard for me to necessarily call this being like wave 5 and it's going to end right there. I don't know. Like that just doesn't really make sense to me from like a macro picture. But maybe especially when all coins look like they're about to break out. So I don't know.
Another way to do it is just to say that 2019 is the bottom, and then that wick that happens right after 2019 is wave one. So that's the bottom. That's your wave two.
Yeah.
Wave one, wave two, right there.
Yeah.
The wicks make really good 1-2s. Well, see, now you have to kind of ignore, like you say, everything collapsed in 2018 and it restarted a new cycle in 2019.
Yeah.
And so that's a new.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean,
there's your wave start.
We have wave 1 right here, right? And this is wave 2, and then we're just starting wave 3, and this is wave 1 of 3.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten the full.
We haven't gotten wave 3 of 3 yet.
Minor 1-2 yet.
Yeah. So that's kind of I think there's always people that are going to be like super cautious now because they get really absolutely traumatized over here. So they're really calling like a more muted top. They just can't see Bitcoin go higher. Especially.
We just need to see more widespread adoption of the coins in use as they were intended, and then they will become more and more in demand.
I think that's one case too. The other case is I think there's a narrative that's going out there. I keep hearing this over and over again. Like now that there's ETF, they're just gonna like make sure that price goes sideways. Now there's not going to be much volatility because of ETF. I call BS on that, like because they just think that traditional finance is here. There's not going to be any volatility, right? Like where did that statement come from? Like where did that statement come from? NVDA just like went from like 34 to like $10. Like that's like traditional finance, right? Like where is that? Like, and it went from like $11-10 all the way to like 130. Like where did that statement come from? A lot of things that people say, like it doesn't make any sense to me at all. And I think this narrative is maybe part of the reason why it's going to do things that people don't expect. Anyway, like I'm done talking.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if Matt he's like completely judging me. He's like, yeah, this guy's an idiot.
No, I'm Bitcoin to moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's your analysis.
Yeah, I'm Moon Boy Matt. That's my nickname now.
At some point, Bitcoin stops being an NFT with a funny face, and it becomes like a real global currency.
Yeah, I think it already is.
Yeah.
It's really recognized. I mean, compared to like the exponential stuff we've seen in the past, like gains and declines, it's been relatively stable. I think more and more stable than most people realize throughout history. So, but I guess that's what happens as assets mature. Anyways, they become more stable. So.
Yep.
Yeah, but I still think that it can pull up like these crazy moves that people don't expect, and I think the narratives of like traditional finance coming in here and like ruining Bitcoin, I think it's like a load of crap.
Well, yeah, we just saw NVIDIA do like crazy moves, right? So of course Bitcoin can still do crazy moves, and I think a lot of stocks can still do crazy moves as well, right?
And it all comes back to ye old US dollar.
Yeehaw.
Are we gonna call it an early night tonight? Because like there are not a whole lot of requests here. So
well, Heidi called me Moon Boy Matt, and that's gonna stick now. Everybody,
Aww.
Moon Boy Matt. No, that's what you got to do. That's my name. Don't wear it out.
Boy.
I wouldn't call you boy. I call you like Moon Uncle.
Oh, Moon Man Matt. That's alliteration right there. Yeah.
I think Uncle is scarier, but yeah.
Oh, this is
anyway.
interesting. DK
Shoo,
is calling.
shoo.
DK is calling for a friendly wager / prediction on if Bitcoin ends up in the green or red at the end of the day tomorrow after the FOMC.
Are we talking about the UTC candle close, or are we talking about like when the stock market closes, or what?
I think it's the UTI. I don't know actually.
Says the doctor.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a dumb cat.
Yeah. You know, 1 out of 2 doctors leaves 1 doctor. Anyways,
I want to say I'm just going to jump in and say
yeah,
I'm going to say green. I'm going to say it closes green.
He said stock
maybe.
market close, so like the 4 p.m. Eastern. 4 p.m. Eastern. Well, that's kind of hard to calculate, really, because the day already started at 8 p.m. Eastern, right? So I guess if the 8 p.m. Eastern is still red or green at that time, because right now it's down what? I'll just share my screen right here.
I think I'll wager it tomorrow. If tomorrow morning is red, then I'll say green. If tomorrow morning is green, I'll say red.
Yeah. Well, we have this right here. See, right now it's down 59. So you're saying on the TradingView chart, if it's green by 4 o'clock Eastern, or if it's still red, right? That's, I think, what he's saying. If that's fair, we can make a wager. I don't know. I think it has a really good possibility to just be green. I really do. By 4 o'clock. I think it does.
Right into resistance.
Yeah, right into resistance, like around 61, 61.1. Yeah. Oh, we're getting requests now.
Yeah, because I said
so. I'm going to say green. I'm going to say green.
Moon Man Matt. That's a triple M right there. I like Moon Man better.
Yeah, I'm 3M, like the company.
Oh, that's bearish.
I want to say it's going to be hanging. I'm going to say Bitcoin 62,000, somewhere right around the end of the day tomorrow.
I'm going to say it's going to whoosh down to like 59, 58, and then close up to like 61.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same. Like looking at the daily, I can see that it wants to go back maybe on the short term, test like 59, 58 before going up. So I just don't know the timing. Like it could end up closing in around 58, 59 tomorrow, and then go up after
I'm using this fantastic Lux Algo order block detector. There's a big buy block that starts right at 59,686.
What time frame?
On the hourly time frame.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And so I think that's going to hold support, and then to make a new higher high, I'm just looking at this next fib level that I just drew, and 62,130. I'm looking for it to be somewhere around 62,130 in the next 12. Is it 12? No. In the next 16 hours from now.
Yeah, Moon Man tracker.
Woo!
All right, I think we got. All right, so I think I'm undecided. Matt said higher. Tracker said higher. We'll see.
Yeah.
I said 62,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gave a number.
Yeah. I don't have to be responsible because I'm a cat and I'm an animal, so I'm fine.
Cool.
All right, we got Face here, Matt's favorite.
Yeah, I love it, and it did exactly what I said it was going to do. When it was back down to 100, I'm like, oh, it's right at the angle. It's looking juicy, guys. I told my Patreon members, and it was exciting. And then, yeah, now it just bounced completely up like 18% from there. So it's been a great bottom. This linear scale angle has been perfect symmetry so far. Now it's back in the cloud, back at resistance at the 118.42. But I think it has a possibility to break above and close that week. But the most important thing is being back on top of the arc and being within the cloud. So it can worry about the other resistance later and then just build a base to go higher. So I loved it down here. Now that it's at resistance, I'm a little cautious. But long term, I still love it to the 150s and beyond, right? But it's at resistance right now. So we got to see what direction it really wants to go for the rest of the week. But buy support, don't buy resistance, right? That's the name of the game. But yeah, when it's back at 100, everybody panics and like, oh, it's going to go lower. No, it's not.
If
So
if you pull up the monthly Bollinger Band, it's starting to look a little bit better and better, because initially I was very skeptical of Anaphase, just because of like a very negative sloping 20-month moving average. Like that's going to serve as resistance, but it's becoming flatter and flatter.
yeah, it is. It is becoming flatter and flatter, and it's still at 134. It still can go a ways higher. You know.
Yeah, it can totally go a ways higher, and that would be still like actually the top of range that's been stuck in like for like a whole year. You know,
Yeah.
I think you probably get rejected there, and you probably still have some sideways pain through 2024. But then 2025, it might flip the 20 from resistance to support. The Bollinger Band is going to squeeze, and you might get a bigger move maybe later on in like 2025. So I still think there might be a little bit of a waiting game, but it's looking better and better.
Yeah. I think it's a waiting game too, but it's like, in my opinion, the early stages, just like a lot of the other stuff, like Tesla, ARKK, a lot of those things, they're in the beginning phases of something magical in the future. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, if you haven't watched Matt's Moonman Matt's Moon video, like, you know, this is the beginning of something huge. Like, you should watch it.
Yeah, it's my Moonman Matt mission.
I love it.
Yeah, like it's a pretty insightful video. And I look at different things. I actually kind of agree. I think people are being a little bit over cautious right now because they get hurt from like 2022, and they just don't want the same mistake. And that's how the market does it to you, you know. But anyway, that's
Yeah. And the next request I see is APLD, Applied Digital, stuck at resistance. It got there last week and it tried to get there again. 643 is that resistance on the 200-week moving average. So do I think it's going to go higher? I mean, maybe. It is making a bunch of lower highs and higher lows. So it's kind of doing like a little triangle, right? But that's Tracker's forte right there, making triangles and stuff, right?
If you want to put me on the screen, I'll do
yeah,
that
you can.
real quick here.
Yeah, you can make a triangle for us live.
All right, I want to show you the fact that somebody asked me about APLD, obviously right around
APLD.
APLD applied around June 14th. It looks like I think is when I drew this chart, and I was looking for a wave 1, wave 2, and it didn't really do the 1-2. It just kind of kept going up. Actually, you know, I'm just drawing this back in June. Looks like I was looking for 1, 2, 3, and look, where I predicted a third wave was kind of where it peaked out, just a little bit above that, and then it fell through where the fourth wave was supposed to be, and I got a whole bunch of reset here. So now, let's see. I'm going to hide this instead of deleting it. Maybe I want to compare this later. Now, if I step back and look at this chart, clearly here's a wave start, 1, 2, and we're off to the races again. So taking my handy dandy trend-based fib extension tool off the low of 236 to right here. I love to get a wick for wave 1 and a wick for wave 2. And I'll just pull this out like this. So, and this low is 301. So let me just move this by a penny. All right, and then so here's my wave setup. And then from this bottom here, looks like it went 7764. So the next would be a 382 retrace, 1382, 100, 2382. Woohoo! So here's yet another stock that looks like, even though we're flirting with all-time highs, well, we hit an all-time high on the SPX, SPY. It looks like it wants to pull back a little bit. I mean, if it went higher and went to a 788, then I'd bring this up to 50, and then 150, 1236, and then 2.236. That actually brings it down a little bit when it does the 50, 150 move. It tightens it, makes it more like a leading diagonal. Yeah, so but the typical setup I'd be looking for is it's finished the 764, and it needs to come back down and just retouch this 3.2, which looks like it kind of already explored this area. Sometimes it's well, yeah. Let's see. Look, I would look for 487, 974 back to 788, and then 1461 for applied digital, and then triangles. Sure, there's one. It's this big old one right here. From this top to, it starts off doing this, and then now it kind of got above it, and seeing it's flirting with the top of this resistance trend line. And because it's slanted down so much, it doesn't look like it's ever going to come down here again. It looks more like it's forming a big cup handle.
Yeah, it looks like it wants to break out above. That's what it does.
It does.
Yeah,
it's trying right now. Maybe it just needs to do one more retest, or like I said, maybe it does break out to 788. In which case, I'd bring this back to the 50, but see, it has to come all the way back to here to get to the 50. And then it looks like this. It's 150, 1236.
Not going back in time, but yeah.
2236.
Actually, that's a pretty interesting thing. Yeah. Okay, cool.
And then looking back, and then there's like the big gap here. It's already filled up that. See, any other interesting tidbits back here?
Interesting.
Right here that's about the same level I'm looking for the wave 5 to hit. 1340. This says 1390. It would make a slightly higher high at that point. And then if it goes up to that one, 1572 looks like this 1576 for the 2618. So if it wants to just really go nuts, that would retouching this candle top here. This resistance is the 2618 in my fib extension here. If I backwards engineer this, 2618 from 1618 from
going back in time.
200 from
that's a big
100 from 1382.
Yeah,
I love playing with fibs. I could do this all day.
Yeah, I know.
We watch you all the time.
In fact, I do.
Yeah, sometimes I watch you playing with your fibs without you even knowing.
If the market went crazy and went up 974, I'd look for it to go back to 788, 1275, 1089, and then 1576. And so this is what I do all the day. Like after I get the wave start, the 1-2, I look for this 1-2. This 1-2 tells me everything I need to know about the rest of the movement. So I just want to see the next. See, maybe is this the 1-2 right here?
APLD.
This 1-2 tells me the story.
3 stroke forwards, 2 strokes back.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'm done showing playing around with APLD, but yeah, it looks bullish from here.
So it looks like we got a DraftKings here. Let me show my chart here real quick.
Okay, I skipped over the other one anyway, so I'll show your chart anyways.
Yeah, no, I'll be real quick.
You're fine.
Just did again real quick here for APLD, 360 and 1. Basically, it shows a lot of great market symmetry. Doesn't it? It's like amazing. Like just playing around again, it's just crazy. So
and it's the best.
Yeah, like they told me like 30 seconds to do this, like, and they just basically put like it basically went through this arc down here, went to like 2 arcs about bringing back test, and right now it's just in the middle. It looks like it wants to hold horizontal. It looks like it wants to gravitate back up towards the arc up here. So it looks pretty good. And then just like going through time frame here on the daily time frame, Ichimoku looks bullish. On the 2-day looks bullish. But on the weekly, it looks like it's underneath resistance. On the 2-week, looks like it's underneath resistance. On the monthly, it looks like it's underneath resistance. On the 2-month, it looks like it's underneath resistance. On the 3-month, it looks like it's underneath resistance. So on the long term, you might have a little bit more upside. But on the short term, you have a little bit more upside. But in the long term, you might be still a little bit underneath resistance right now. So that's all I got.
Are you seeing resistance at 673, or do you see resistance higher than that again? Give me a number.
I have resistance all around like 6 point mid range, like 6.3, 6.5, different, yeah, so around there.
Yeah, so this is going to push it down to 545 for the 50% retrace, the 50% fib extension, or 487 for the 38.2.
Yeah,
that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, I'm looking for either 50% extension, 545, or 382 for $4.87 next.
Yeah.
And then that would propel it up to either 1089 or 974 next in 5 subwaves.
Nice.
All right.
And now we got X4.
X4, I don't like it. Don't like it. So X4, it's just a falling knife. I mean, Cat loves falling knives, so this is probably more his cup of tea. So I don't know if you want to say.
I don't like this one yet. I like to see
Okay.
it do a little bit more. But yeah, it's a little bit too folly for me. So
A little bit too folly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, it's looking like it just wants to go to zero, right? That's from the top. That's what it looks like, unless some company buys them out or something. I don't know. But this is the kind of chart that looks like it wants to go to zero. And also, like this previous support right here is kind of like being resistance now. This support is kind of being resistance now too. So there's multiple layers of resistance starting there, and then at 74 cents, and then at 88, and then at $1, 107, 110. Like there's so many layers of resistance. It's ridiculous. And I think for me to have any like chance about it, maybe get on top of the 100 week moving average, and then I'll talk. But until that happens, I don't like it.
Yeah,
So-
I used to trade tickers like this all the time, and it's just it's a tough game. It's kind of a losing
Oh yeah,
proposition. They do capital raises and then reverse splits, capital raises, reverse
Well,
splits, and
it's
it
just
goes.
stressful. It's just
Yeah.
stressful. That's all.
So yeah, to be fair, like if you show mine real quick, I'm just gonna do it.
Oh, falling knife cat. Here we go.
Here. Yeah, I mean, bullish divergence going on for about 2 years now. You know,
Oh, look at that meow.
yeah. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't buy because things can keep going down on bullish divergence. They can go down a lot further on bullish divergence. They can go to zero on bullish divergence, right? But if you are to have, if you really truly feel very strongly about it, if you want to like spend $100 or something like that to buy something, just in case, like it'd be, it'd be high risk, but it's not a bad spot to buy compared to obviously like how it was over the last 5 years. That's all I gotta say. But would I buy it? No. So
only if it went to 1 penny, then you'd be like, "Oh yes, falling knife cat to the rescue."
Well, I mean, there are better falling knives to buy that I'm more familiar with, But anyway, even for like Unity, I can see it keep going up on the short term, but I think it's still a falling knife. So anyway, that's a different story, a different time. But the Ichimoku here on the monthly, I know Matt, you're going to show DraftKings, but basically it's found its way. It's underneath resistance here at the monthly Tenkin or conversion line, but
and the weekly too.
Yeah. On the weekly too, yeah. But it made its way on the longer term. I think it's still relatively bullish because it's made its way inside the leading span A, which basically means it's inside the cloud, right? So that's still a good thing to me. And it got kind of back tested on the cloud-ish kind of, and also the 20-month moving average is still very positively going up. In August, we just kind of back tested it. So I still have a position in DraftKings. I'm still bullish on it. I'm probably still gonna hold it. I know Matt's gonna pull up his.
Well, no, I don't need to pull anything up. Just put up the 50-week moving average. You can see it's breaking above finally.
Yeah. Well, this is 50-month.
Even the 50-month. Well, it's been above that, but the 50-week, it's back on top too now.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So these are a pretty promising sign. It basically just came back past 100 and it went back about 50. Like this is how technical analysis works. Like it's not a mystery. Let me pull up. While I have you here, I'm just gonna do it again real quick because I want to mess around with you. I don't want to waste your time. That's what I want to do. So,
well, I'm gonna show mine real quick before you show yours, so you have that time. So mine is basically I did a really extended one, and it already hit the orange level here back in 2021, and then this is the 45-degree angle. You can see, boom, it got rejected there. It lost as support, rejected, then rejected again. So it's still just in the middle of a range, but with all these higher lows and even higher highs, it's still looking great. And when you combine that with breaking above the 50-week moving average there, and it's on top of the bull market support band now too, you can see that it's even starting to curl up a little bit too. So there's just many confluences that it probably wants to go higher. And I think what it's looking like is probably one level at a time. It's still making like from the top, lower highs, so lower high, lower high, lower high. So probably the next target would be maybe around where this wick is, maybe like the 42, 43, 44. But like one step at a time. And this is the first really positive development that it's back above everything. So I do like it more and more. And I think it can continue into the 40s and possibly even 50s above back to that angle.
Yeah, some people might get a little bit more like concerned about the 2050 bearish cross, but I don't find that to be that big of a deal.
No, that's not a big deal to me.
It's delayed. So
go ahead with yours, no sir.
Hey, monthly. So what are the so I did like 180 and one very good market symmetry here in a log. Like look at just like how beautiful it is. Got rejected from the arc up here. It's just like a horizontal over here. Basically, it's just broke above the horizontal after back testing the arc down here. Went to the top of the arc, got rejected, came back, tested horizontal level here. Right now, it looks like it wants to gravitate back towards the arc. I mean, that's what it looks like. So that's it's very similar to what you got actually.
Yeah, what we all think. I think the momentum is now to the upside, and I think it wants to continue higher. That's what I think, and it could come back down tomorrow. Maybe test support in like the low 38s, high 37s or something, just on some kind of liquidity, whatever. But the momentum has shifted, so it looks like it wants to go higher.
Yeah, I mean, it can always come back. I mean, there's still plenty of like room for it to go down if it wants to, but it is at resistance. So who knows? Yeah, but you got plenty of moving averages down there as support. So yeah.
Any dips are potentially buying opportunities.
Yep. Bye.
My.
Oh boy.
Come on.
Do you guys realize like Matt is a lot happier when Trekker and I are around than whenever he just makes his own videos? He's like all sad and serious.
It's true, but also I'm just waking up. But Tracker helps me in the morning and not be so tired. So yeah, it does help. I'm a social butterfly, guys, and when I'm just talking to myself, it's so sad and lonely.
I know. I'm having the best time being on your show.
Well, we can make it a regular thing if you want. That's fine.
I would love to make it a regular thing. I think it'd be really. It's good for both of us.
We can even go live at 2 Eastern, 1 Eastern when they do the rate decision too, if you want.
Sure, let's do it.
Yeah, I'll be free. So, would you guys like that? Yes, in the audience.
Yeah.
They're not typing it. Oh, there's a delay. I forgot about that.
Yeah, sure. There's a delay.
Yeah.
That's why they're not responding. Yeah.
That's why we have a total of a couple people on YouTube. See, we're taking away from the YouTube people though. They're watching it on X, but most people are on YouTube here. It looks like. Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah, I think most people are on YouTube. It's okay. I think I just like, maybe some days we'll send over to X. Some days we won't.
We need to have Heidi come on here or Jess or all those people. Meow meow.
You guys they're welcome anytime.
Yeah. So, what time's the rate announcement? Is it 2 Eastern?
No.
1.
They'll release something at 1, and then Powell will speak to the cameras at 1:30.
Yeah, let's just go live at 1 o'clock then if you want.
Yeah, you're gonna fight against screen time with like Jesse and Amit. Like you're gonna fight against everybody for screen time.
Well, come join us, Kat. Come join us.
I'll see if I can. But I think I got a bunch of meetings tomorrow. Anyway, that's okay.
That's okay. You could be like, time out, guys. Time out. I gotta take this call.
I don't want to give Jerome Powell more power than he thinks he deserves, so I'm not gonna. But
everything's just a show. It's all staged, and it's just hilarious how people take so much merit with what they say.
Yeah.
But volatility is there, so I think that's why people take it seriously, because they're only in the short term, and
But they create that volatility before it even happens. Like we saw on the SPY, how basically the gap between support and resistance is pretty wide on the 4-hour chart alone. So it's like, come on, like they created that before it even happened. So it's just.
Rock Regan just said that actually no, it's released at 2 and Powell speaks at 2:30. Maybe I was looking at Central Time for whatever source that I was looking at. That sounds right. 2 and 2:30 sounds about right.
Oh yeah.
He wants to hit us below the belt in the SAT hour. 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the power hour. 2 p.m. is the SAT hour.
Yeah. Okay. So 2 Eastern. That's fine with me. I can go on at 2 Eastern if you can.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't realize I'm still sharing my screen. Hope I didn't show anything inappropriate.
You're just watching some bounce. Bow wow.
Well, this is like the SAT. I was looking at like the SAT. This is the only chart that I really care about. This is
Yeah.
really the only chart that I care about. Is like Ethereum over Bitcoin. It's just sad, you know. It's backtesting this level over here. It's a very, very important level, you know, but it's still sad, you know.
But it's just lagging. That's all
Yeah,
it's doing.
it's lagging. And if I do and I did pull up like a monthly GAN, you know, and yeah, 360 and 2000, yeah. So I mean, it's right as support. Like it's right at the angle support, it's right at horizontal support is where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Based on market symmetry, like before it like just rise up the angle and just go up, you know. So I don't mind. It's just sad. That's all.
I'm not surprised really. Have you tried to trade Ethereum or just move Ethereum across the so-called Lightning Network? The gas fees are just astronomical.
Well, not now. Not now. People are going to complain whenever gas fee is high as whenever Ethereum is like gone way up. So yeah, somebody asked about USD. Yeah, this is why I think about USD. I think it's like broken out.
I think Ethereum might be a fine altcoin to Bitcoin, but it's terrible for transacting stuff with.
Yeah, but I think
You need all those intermediate coins to do the lifting.
Yeah, but you can't have like a crazy altcoin season without Ethereum. Like you just can't. It's like a truly deflationary asset.
Yeah.
So that's really like the thesis behind it. It's like the OG. Like you're always gonna have like COVID. Everybody move out from Manhattan, but Manhattan is too expensive. So like you know it's yeah. but this is this is USD. I think might still have a little bit more room to go up now.
Wait, Bitcoin is New Jersey and Ethereum Manhattan.
man, I don't know if the New Jersey folks should be upset with you or Bitcoiners should be upset with you. I don't know, but I think somebody asked about USD. Maybe go a little bit higher to like 3.2 somewhere around there to like the weekly cloud there. I think it's still got some juice up there before it hits like any major resistance.
Oh, it's got some juice. I've got my USD.
Tell me more about your juice. Anyway, even the weekly bull in Japan, it's got some more room to go up. It's not overextended by any means. I think this cool down over here is healthy, and yeah, it looks like it's probably just basically consolidating. Even back test the line down here a little bit. You know, maybe go down another 20 cents before going up to like 3.2. I think it's entirely possible. But anyway,
or maybe Ethereum is over forever and something else is going to take over.
Yeah, keep that dirty talk. Yeah.
Like XRP.
XRP is going to take over. Yeah. Centralized finance is going to take over decentralized finance.
It's going to be the Chase JPM coin. It's what it's going to be. Or the PayPal coin. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Taking over everything.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, it might be.
But XRP is one of the best stable coins, so I think it should be used. Like, you wouldn't have any slippage at all. I mean, come on now. It's so stable.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, the NCDX Plus, I don't know if you're talking about the daily. It's like, oh yeah, it's all the way up to like 81%.
Yeah. It's got the juice. This was my Bullfrog AI has been my largest holding for the longest time. But then like for the last 2 days, EOSE has been my largest holding. And I made some bank on it. And like I said, I went back to cash today. That big red candle, that's me selling off a bunch of my EOSE.
Yeah, that must be.
Market maker tracker.
Go ahead and bring me up here.
I'll beam you up, Scotty.
Page. Thank you. All right, so here's my EOSE chart, and I've been tracking it ever since. I think I was trading it when it was under $1. Like back here in June, a couple of my followers turned me on to it, and when it did this spike, I got interested.
Couple of followers. What? Sorry. Yeah. Turn. Sorry.
So it did a nice 1-2 right here, and then I made up a. It's not showing up. Oh, I think it's hidden on. There we go.
3.2. 3.2. I see 3.2. That's resistance.
Yep. So from the 139 low, my wave one was I predicted 279, hit 281. Then I put out a buy zone alert. It's going to hit. I said 209. It hit 210. Took off again, and then I started selling into 279, just a little bit, like the last couple of days. And then this morning I sold off from like the 270 to 265 range. And then it just did this the rest of the day after that. And so now my next buy zone, I think this could be like an extended wider flat a little bit. If the market goes down tomorrow, buy anywhere from under 250 down to 221. It won't necessarily go this low, but if it did, like definitely buy it. Don't be scared. You just don't want to buy, like if it goes below 210, that's bad. That's bad. But right down to 221 is good. 240 is good. Anything under 250. And then my next target will still maintain up here near 321 for a minor. Well, I've got 318, 289, and then it goes to 391. So 391 is the top of my wave 3. That's all 5 waves of wave 3 to 391. So I can make a bunch of money between 250 to 391. Yeah, give me that all day long. I'll put half of all my money into that. That's going to make more money than Tesla or TSLL, honestly, over this same time period, I think. Let's see, like if you bought it now and could sell it at 391, that's a almost 55% increase. And then from 391, it drops back a little ways to 321, and then on to 573 for the 2382. And this one has really been following. Oops, what just happened there? This has really been, the thing broke. Has really been following the my 764 382 1382 pretty well. Like on all the minor waves, it's been doing it just perfectly. So I'm loving EOSE because it's made itself easy to track, and it's been moving very predictably. And so, yeah, buy between 250 to 221, and you'll get to double your money almost. Well, if you just keep holding it, don't sell it at all, and you can wait long enough, you'll triple your money almost to 573. That's it. That's my EOSE chart. This is I post this all the time for my subscribers. It's only $2 a month. So cheap. I post this all day long for my subscribers. EOSE.
Yeah, I see it going up eventually, but it's just getting knocked down by resistance right now.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's definitely it's in that resistance zone.
It's charging. It's trying to, yeah, that's what it's doing. It's charging.
It's charging its battery.
Yeah.
Mm.
See, like on the daily chart, there's a whole bunch of buy orders down here from 220 to 198. That's terrible. On the 1 hour, yeah, people are just selling it off under 279.
That was you.
I love this. That was me. I sold this right up here.
Yeah,
my order was already processed, so these are other people's orders.
You're causing a bear flag to happen right now.
People want to buy it between 240 and 230. That's really cool. I love this block order detector. I'd never seen this before.
I love that you love it.
I do. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I love a new tool, as you can tell.
I like looking at it on the 4-hour chart. It's more fun. It's kind of the same, I guess.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's different though, and that's where it's interesting.
Yeah, sometimes it's different. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I'm going to start using this all the time. I'll just go back and forth between Ichimoku and order block.
Yeah, I think those are very good.
But then I'll give people the speech about how order block, there's a lot of spoofing, like you talked about walls that they'll put up and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of spoofing, but on the other hand, it still gives you like pretty decent idea in terms of what people think of support and resistance. So
exactly.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily use it as like a hard rule and say, oh, that's like definitely, like a buy wall because of spoofing. Yeah, I stopped paying attention to this. I used to be like really interested in it like a year or 2 or 3 ago, but I'm not anymore. So
I'm definitely interested in how it makes confluence or it doesn't with my charting. So
yeah, if you can find some confluence, great. If not, then like I wouldn't just rely on it. And it's just like the only tool.
Oh, take it with a grain of confluence.
A grain of confluence. Sounds delightful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark. So we're 7 minutes away from the 2-hour mark.
Yeah. And
so
the only update I have is I just saw like an email from Kathy Woods. He apparently sold 8,000 shares of Palantir today.
Wait, Which fund does she have?
The main fund. I think it's the ARK fund, the RK fund. Like
No,
yeah,
I don't. Oh, she does have ARKK. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like not as much, but
so
I think she does that.
8,500.
But people don't realize she does that because of balancing. Though.
Yeah, you have to rebalance. Yeah, even if she doesn't really want to sell, like she just basically sold like a little tiny bit to like rebalance. So.
Like people criticize her selling Tesla, selling this, it's because she doesn't want like a 20% position in her fund of being one stock. So that's why she sold Tesla. That's why she sells Palantir. And it's not like she can diversify throughout this whole downtrend. Like, oh, I'm just going to get out of innovation real quick and just put it into something else. No, she can't do that. So that's why she got criticized for 3 years because of she can't diversify, and it's because of her fund.
Yeah, we're trying to defend fund managers just in case that one day we become one. It's going to be the Tracker Mad Cat Fund.
Well, note to self, don't start just one kind of fund that's just one really specific.
Make sure we don't call it PP, whatever it is.
Yeah. Like pricing meet Kevin Power. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Been fun as always.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Tracker.
Yeah, we'll do the morning show together. Matt Spees in the morning, and then is it Matt? It's mornings with Matt Spees, isn't it?
Matt Spees exclamation because it's possessive. It's my morning. Yeah.
Matt Spees morning. I love that.
Now it's going to be Moon Man Matt Spees morning.
Yeah, Moon Man. And then, that's hard to say. That alliteration right there.
And then we'll do at 2 p.m. We'll do an FOMC show in the afternoon. And then I also want to tease that Thursday after the market closes on 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be interviewing the CEO of Bullfrog AI, Vin Singh, here on X.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
It'll be a good time.
FOMC, the M stands for Matsby. Don't forget it.
I love it.
Yeah,
Moonboy Matsby.
And P stands for cat. I don't know where Tracker is. But.
Yeah, that's true.
Ooh. Okay. All right.
All right, guys.
You guys.
Have a good night.
Yep. Have a good night.
Thank you all for watching us out there, and thank you guys for hanging out with me.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, that's all.